Tervetuloa rakas Suomen jalkapallokansa Suomen ja Helsingin maanalaisimpaan jalkapallopuheohjelmaan VastaTV:hen. Mehän kuvaamme täällä bunkkeristudiossamme noin 10 metriä Helsingin alapuolella salaisessa lokaatiossa. Tänään kuitenkin lähdemme täältä rohkeasti ulos, koska tänään pelataan myöhemmin tänä nauhoituspäivänä Valko-Venäjä Suomi vierasottelu. Lähdemme kannattajabaarina tunnettuun Elmoon kyselemään Suomen kannattajilta mietteitä ennen kaikkea ottelun jälkeen. Miten siinä sitten käykään? Tehän sen jo tiedätte, hävisikö Suomi vai voittiko, mutta olen varma, että saamme mielenkiintoisia mielipiteitä joka tapauksessa teiltä suomalaisilta jalkapalloihmisiltä. Ennen kuin lähdemme, jututan kuitenkin hetken vierastamme omaa Sunday League Keke Armstrongiamme Mark Dudmania. Tervetuloa Mark. Mark uskoo jostain syystä, että Suomella on mahdollisuudet päästä Brasilian MM-kisoihin. So how come, Mark Dudman?
I think the big thing is tonight's game. I think if they win tonight, they certainly have a really good chance then with September's home game coming up against Spain. And although that's a tough game, I believe that Spain are certainly not an unbeatable team. And if everything falls right on the night for the Finnish boys, then they should qualify.
But even that's not enough yet. They still have to deal with France after that, away from home.
Well, yeah, but I think if they can go to France and get a draw or even a narrow defeat, then that might be enough, depending on how the other results go in the group. Because France are not exactly performing very well either. So there's every chance that they might drop some points. So on their travels. So it's a difficult one.
Yeah, I'm not against you at all on this one because I certainly
there is hope.
I certainly will say there's hope. But very few people here in Finland seem to think we have any chance. I don't know if even Miksu Patelainen thinks we have a chance because he always keeps on saying we're going for the 2016 European Championship. This is like the non-qualification for us.
I think that happens a lot when you ask managers what their goal is. I think if you if in any kind of if you ask a manager what their target is, they will give themselves the most optimum amount of time to make something successful. It goes the same in daily business. You try and make a plan when you start a business, for example, and then you try and make a goal so you don't push yourself too much. And being a manager of an international football, coach of an international football team, is a high pressure job. So the less pressure you can put on yourself, the more you can be free in your role as coach. And but the attitude that people have, certainly most of the fans that I talk to have, is that no chance. We've got no chance. We can't qualify for any tournament. Not with the players that we have, not with the style of play that we play. And I don't know. I think that attitude is a little damaging. It's damaging for the team. It's damaging for the fans, and nobody really wins that. I think if just a little bit of positiveness, and anything's possible. It's football.
Who's your favorite player or favorite players in the Finnish team?
In the Finnish team, that's difficult to say. Really, I don't really have a favorite player. I think maybe if I was in my early 20s, I could answer that question very easily, but I tend to look at the players as a group, which I think in international football is very important because there's too many individuals normally in a club team, but they have to work as a team, and even more so on international level because you're bringing the Finnish boys back from Germany and from Holland and everywhere and expecting them to gel in a couple of days. I think Teemu Pukki probably is the player I've been most impressed with. but also
cameraman Aki.
But also the most frustrated with. He's such a frustrating player. I don't know if he's lazy.
He's soft.
Is he soft? Is he lazy? Is he slow?
Those three go together, I think. Yeah.
Well,
if you're lazy, and the reports from Germany say he's you know, he's not one of the fiercest guys practicing, or and he's, you know, too soft even in team practice, and it's very easy to believe for me. I can see the talent, but he should be way more physical after playing like. Has been 1 year or 1.5 years in Bundesliga.
Yeah,
he should be way more physical now.
Yeah. Well, I think Jose Mourinho said the same thing. Was it about 10 or 12 years ago when, though maybe less than that, when Forsell came to Chelsea, and he was very impressed with his raw talent, but not very impressed with the way he would go conduct himself at training. He didn't want to work hard. That's why he got put out on loan, and ended up playing on a what you could call, I guess, a lower level of team throughout the rest of his career, rather than working hard in training and impressing his manager. He thought like, I don't know, I think maybe a lot of Finnish players, when they leave the Veikkausliiga, they think, I've made it now, that's it. I'll go to Holland, go and play there for a few seasons, that's it. Maybe come back and do 1 or 2 final seasons in the Veikkausliiga.
Well, it says something worrying about the training they have here in Veikkausliiga. If the players keep getting that kind of response when they go abroad, you know, you're too soft, you cannot train.
I don't know.
You're not trained to train.
I think it's a fact that when a young player leaves this country and goes to play abroad, they get built up so much by the media, and they almost are like told, and they almost start to believe that they are really, really good players, and they've reached the level, and they don't have to work at it to get better. That could be one of the problems. It certainly happens in England with the current under-21 championship that's happening over in Israel. There's a very talented bunch of guys, but they're on mega money, big contracts with big teams, and they just don't perform under-21s because they're all told by the media and by their managers they shouldn't be there. They should be playing for the main national team. So it's a very difficult thing, but the media is partly to blame for that.
Have you been impressed by Mixu's absurd Christmas tree strategy? For me, it hasn't worked once in a qualification game. In some of the non-qualification friendlies, yes, but when they really played well, and that's the Spain away game, they didn't play the Christmas tree.
Well, they did do a Christmas tree, but they didn't have the fairies on the top. They had all the fairies at the bottom as well, so it was like a semi-Christmas tree, I guess.
So what I'm saying, they really should, you know, stop doing that.
It's a dead Christmas tree.
The home game against Belarus was awful.
I was not very
impressed. We won
impressed.
it, and I'm proud of that, and I respect that, and it's 3 points,
I wasn't very
but it
impressed.
was awful.
But the 3-5-2, I think, is better than what he does right now. I think 3-5-2 would work with the players that he has. I think the Finnish national team have got very good central defenders, but not very good right and left backs. But they've got very good right and left midfield players who can easily work as like semi wing backs. You know, so you get the 3 big guys in the middle, you get the 2 guys on the wing, and you fill the midfield out with experience.
Yeah, especially now when Jere Uronen, the Helsingborg young rising star, is away injured. He's the left back. He's good at, you know, going up in the field as you're supposed to in Mixu's strategy. But the others not so much. So.
But I mean, the role that Tainio played or has been playing for the national team, he's injured tonight, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's not going to be playing. But if you wanted to pick some homegrown talent to take his place, then I would say that the Manström, who plays for Hoyekor, would be a perfect guy to have in the midfield there.
They're gonna play Tim Sparv at the Tainio spot, not Manström.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but they're gonna go with Sparv.
Well, he's a good player too. But there is room for 3 good players in that midfield.
It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be Hetemai, Sparv and Ring.
That's okay. But let's see. I don't know, I think we just need a little bit more invention in the midfield.
Kiitos Mark Dugman. Tämä oli ihanaa.
Kiitos.
Meidän täytyy varmasti lähteä kohti Elmoa tästä, jos meillä on tarkoitus sinne sisään mahtua, joten tavataan siellä, rakkaat katsojat.